minimizing and not taking responsibility and doing what a lot of drug abusers but also psychopaths do, blame it on something else. It's not me, it's the alcohol. And he's kind of doing the same thing. It's the same script.
Yeah, I really upset. The tears. He got out of bed, door open, get out of the house. She started hitting me or knee me or something. I stepped under, got behind her, and grabbed her around the neck. And we went to the floor hard. Okay. Yeah. She went face first. I held on. I saw blood. I picked her up off her feet. I don't know how she did it. She got hold of the wall. And it took me out balance.
Barnes is trying to paint this as a simple lover's quarrel or marital disagreement when in fact there are broken doors, there's holes in the wall, there are door frames that have been removed by somebody grabbing them and kicking them in. This is not a situation of two people who had a misunderstanding that spun out of control.
And just in your mind, we hit so hard on the floor. Her head first, we went down.
He never owns responsibility for killing her. It's a distanced description. She need him, he thinks. He pushed her down. It was hard. He doesn't know how it really happened, but she went face first. If you think of it like a painting, you're getting a very broad brushstroke of something about the scene, but you can't fill in the detail.
Or she was squirming, trying to get away. He was trying to hold her. I was holding. I didn't want her to fight me no more. I didn't want her to fight back. I held on until I knew she could fight me anymore. Lynn died. What do you know you're home? I thought I could make things okay. I just started cleaning up and doing dishes. That's what you did. I stayed. Did you do anything to hide the fact that you were responsible for that? For what? For her death. Why did you take the trash to the road? It's not a nice trash thing. Why do you care about the trash when your wife dead now? I figured I just want to make it look normal. I was trying to act normal, so I stayed there all day.
The fact that Barnes continued to stay in their home for 2 days, knowing there was a dead body in the closet, and he took more care and attention to make sure that the trash was taken out, dishes were cleaned, that the home was otherwise orderly, really shows a disconnect. His feeble attempt at taking the trash out so that things look normal doesn't really compensate or equate to the loss of human life, but in his mind, they're somehow equal. They're equal gestures.
You realize what you did? You understand? Yeah. That's it. Believe it wrong. Can't believe it happened. Everything's gone. Everything. Your life. James, is that the extent of what you want to tell Tony? Tape that I just want you to know you weren't doing anything wrong. I was sick. She looked very much. When it came to stupid, it was just, wait, hold on. If I had told you what I knew a long time ago, you would have known what to do.
Barnes could be alluding to the fact that he knows more than they know. It's clear that he's saying, if you had known about what I was going to do earlier, maybe you could have done something about it. So it's a way of blaming the ex-husband as well. So he still doesn't have responsibility in his mind for what he did.
That's concluding the interview, so switch to side B. Interview's concluded.
Barnes would have us believe this was just a domestic dispute, but we know that that's not the case. He had killed before.
My God. Come in. Hello, dude. By 14. Well, good for you. You ready to find yeah. She went to death row. Okay. That's, body description's bad. Couldn't catch his breath or, they transfer him. It's fine. He's still young. No problem. Are we on the video right now? Yes. I've known you for a little more than 4 months. Yeah, first, I'm talking about a matter that happened in August 1988. There are no questions you could ever ask me that would not answer.
This is once again Barnes taking control of a situation. You see his psychopathic side really take the lead. He is narcissistic, he's arrogant, and he really understands that there is a power that he has in this situation because law enforcement wants to understand what this cold case was about.
About the incident in 1988, we never was clear on her name. Said you read it in newspapers. Yeah, I know. I take this day. I swear by Allah, I really don't know it. I know I've been told this. Sort of that's what I was doing all the time.
She was Patricia Miller. She was a nurse who lived in a complex near him. It's another reflection of this complete, really, indifference to personal identity. People aren't individuals to a man like Barnes. They're things. And so you can care enough to kill somebody, but they're not really important to remember as individual people.
Sometime in April of 1988, I entered the north window of condominium. Again, condominium also spelled out I proceeded through the condominium, got an application. I called that about Barbara on her bathroom, and I put her in the bedroom. I raided it. I got some shoestrings out of tennis shoes, went back in the bedroom. I tried to her hands behind her back. I raided her again. I got her shoes up. I first remembered that it didn't happen, and I ended up going to the hammer. Back to it.
There's a lot of sadism. He enjoyed humiliating her. He enjoyed hurting her physically. He enjoyed frightening her. And it was a prolonged several hours before he finally killed her. He killed in a very personal, frightening way where she was probably experiencing her own death. So intense rage and a deep desire for destruction of the other person.
I went through her condominium. I took a when I put all the items I thought, all that I had touched inside the rucksack. I went outside as I had entered naked. I thought I'll put it over. Got a lighter and set it back in the front door. And set it on fire. I got dressed real quickly and I left. I would leave along the front door as I went out. And that's what I did.
Despite the fact that almost 17 years have gone by from when he committed this violent murder, and when he's talking about it during this interview with Insco, he remembers things in a level of detail about taking a bank card, putting things in a rucksack, where he exited the house, whether he left the door locked or unlocked. He has been reliving this crime in his mind, getting a euphoria or a high off of it all these years.
What makes you think of getting naked before you went in? How much people are old? Social security system. Well, I don't know if the arm, if there's an arm system, I don't have a good chance. If there was, I had to slip my ID over to your file a little bit with cash. And just the reason why I got before I went in was I didn't want to carry any material into that post. Now, my intent was to kill. So you're that my intent was to kill.
The decision that Barnes made to enter the victim's apartment nude suggests that he had a clear intent to sexually assault her. This is a calculated, cold act. This is somebody who doesn't have any attachment to the victim. It was about his own sexual gratification, his own power and control, and his need to kill.
All of the victims, people, fires, she had come to her son. And we were comforted on the north end of the bed. Started on fire. Why did you from Madison started on fire before 80% recapture? No, but once at the Portugal States, I actually got arrested for first-degree arson, both $350,000. Set a bed on fire for 20. And now when I was a kid, next to my neighbor's house, I set that bed on fire.
Barnes starts talking about how he has set fires before. He's set fires when he's a kid. He's burned a bed before. This is consistent with what we know in the psychological research on people with psychopathy, is they've often engaged in other acts of violence, or they moved on to torturing humans or killing humans.
You tell me once that you knew about their body through illness until they get great performance, right? You were sure. You had a big weapon in with you. But did you know there would be a weapon in there that you used, or did you plan on just strangling it? You said you had no clothes on. I felt capable of going. Doing what I wanted to do.
Part of the control dynamic is in planning the hunt, right? Planning the action. They've had a fantasy in their head about how it should proceed and go, the stages that the act will occur in, and they mentally rehearse it.
When did you decide to go bringing me up for you? Because she humiliated you before. And, no, saving that. You know, I did it. I killed it. And I made that decision. But I think it would be very best if I could mention our encounter and how I felt what she said. Because I don't want to be diminished, anybody. I don't want to put anybody on the best. I did what I did. And I just not really want to answer that.
This is where we see truly the presentation of a psychopathic personality. He does not owe anyone anything, and as long as he maintains control of the interview, he's good to go. But the minute they start asking him about things that he looks bad or somehow diminish his status and his sense of authority and compromise his ego and his self-esteem, he won't go there. So despite claiming that he would say to Insco, "I'll answer anything," he's clearly not willing to.
Why you decided to kill her? That's one question.
He doesn't want to talk probably about rejection, about being humiliated. He clearly remembers what she said 17 years ago, and it makes him feel so small and squeamish that he's able to talk about killing her, but he can't talk about how rejection made him feel, because it made him feel like nothing. It made him feel so bad. And because that moment is so difficult for him, so humiliating, he rewrites the story to say that I'm actually protecting her reputation.
You tried to kill me. It seemed like, you think that that's not a real problem because I hide stuff like this. I'll do that. That's exactly what I'm doing.
This is another example of the control and the appearance of something being perhaps socially appropriate. Barnes is almost saying, I have a spiritual advisor, I'm a spiritual person, think of me in this way, but he's not, We don't see any signs of contriteness or remorse. It still is all about him, rather than the victims themselves.
But, I'll tell you something. You know the saying, I'm all in. Yes, I'm all in anyway. And there's a couple of matters that I will resolve with you. But not today. Not today.
What you see is yet again, he's playing games. He's manipulating the situation, he's keeping himself relevant, he's keeping himself in a position of power and control, and he's also keeping himself center stage. He's telling the police, without coming right out and saying it, you need me, and when I decide to help you, I will.
Is there anything else that you would like to say about this murder? No. Sorry or anything? Okay.